Hello everyone, this is Dr. Radhika and today I am going to discuss digestion of carbohydrates. So without any further delay, let's begin our topic. Digestion of carbohydrates. First of all, what is digestion? Digestion is a catabolic process by which non-diffusible complex biomolecules are broken down by enzymes called as hydrolases by the process of hydrolysis into simple and diffusible biomolecules. And these hydrolases are present in digestive juices secreted by the digestive glands. Now coming to the digestion of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are of three types: monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are simple sugars such as glucose and galactose, and they need no digestion and directly absorbed into the blood. But disaccharides and polysaccharide need digestion. Disaccharides include maltose, that is malt sugar, sucrose, that is cane sugar, and lactose, that is the milk sugar. Similarly, polysaccharides include starch, glycogen and cellulose. Digestion of carbohydrates involve the hydrolysis of glycosidic bonds by enzymes called as carbohydrolases or glycosidases. Coming to polysaccharides such as starch and glycogen. Starch is storage polysaccharide in plants. It is present in cereals such as wheat and rice, fruits such as banana and mango, and also found in root tubers such as potato. Similarly, glycogen is also a storage polysaccharide found in animals, bacteria, and fungi. Both of them are formed of two polymeric compounds, that is alpha amylose and amylopectin. In case of glycogen, amylopectin is much more branched as compared to the starch. Amylose and amylopectin comprises of D-glucose units joined by alpha 1,4-glycosidic bond. The digestion of carbohydrates start in the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity has three pairs of salivary glands, that is parotid glands, submaxillary glands and sublingual glands. All of these glands secrete saliva containing the enzyme, that is salivary amylase, also called as ptyalin. Salivary amylase is a endoamylase, that is it breaks down large amylose molecules into shorter dextrin chains, and it is most active at pH between 6.7 to 6.8 in presence of chloride ions. Salivary amylase breaks down starch and glycogen into double sugars, that is maltose, isomaltose and dextrins. Small dextrins are also called as limit dextrins. So let's take example of starch. Starch in presence of enzyme, that is salivary amylase, pH between 6.7 and 6.8, which is optimum pH, and also chloride ions. Starch break down into double sugars, that is maltose, isomaltose and limit dextrins. In this process, about 30% of starch is digested in the buccal cavity. Now, food bolus is swallowed from buccal cavity to stomach. Inside stomach, action of saliva is inhibited by acidic gastric juices, but salivary amylase or ptyalin continues to digest starch for about 20 to 30 minutes, resulting in digestion of about 40% of the starch. In stomach, there are no carbohydrolases, therefore no digestion or breakdown of starch takes place here, but 5% of undigested starch is hydrolyzed by HCl. In small intestine, starch is digested by three different juices, that is bile, second one is pancreatic juice, and third one is the intestinal juice. Now coming to its function, Bicarbonate ions in bile help to maintain the alkaline pH. Pancreatic juice contain pancreatic amylase and intestinal juice contain intestinal amylase as well as number of different oligosaccharidases. Pancreatic amylase has similar function like that of salivary amylase as it also digests starch into double sugars, but it works in alkaline pH, that is 8.8. Pancreatic amylase hydrolyzes about 50% of starch into disaccharides. Similarly, intestinal amylase also digests starch like that of salivary amylase, but it is most active in pH 8.3 and hydrolyzes 5% of starch. So here you can see the hydrolysis of starch into disaccharides. Salivary amylase contributes 40%, HCl 5%, pancreatic amylase 50% and intestinal amylase 5%. Different oligosaccharidases in intestinal juice hydrolyze specific oligosaccharides into monosaccharides. For example, maltose is digested by maltase into 2 glucose units. Similarly, isomaltose is digested by isomaltase into again 2 glucose units. However, limit dextrins are digested by limit dextrinase into a single glucose molecule. However, sucrose is being digested by sucrase into glucose and fructose, and lactose being digested by lactase into glucose and galactose. So here you can see that glucose are the end products of maltose, isomaltose and limit dextrins, whereas sucrose and lactose form glucose fructose and glucose galactose respectively. So in carbohydrate digestion, 80% of end product is glucose while 10% is galactose and fructose. Lastly, lactose intolerance. Among mammals, only man can digest lactose found in milk in adult stage. This is due to presence of lactase enzyme, but with advancing age, amount of lactase decreases. As a result, lactose in milk is not digested. Hence, lactose is fermented, producing gas, that is carbon dioxide and hydrogen, and also lactic acid is produced, causing abdominal or intestinal cramps, diarrhea and flatulence. Such individuals can consume curd and yogurt instead of milk. Here you can see the diagrammatic representation of lactose being digested by lactase enzyme into glucose and galactose. But when lactase is inactivated due to advancing age, lactose is not digested. Then the resident microbiota in intestine ferment lactose, causing gas and production of acid, for example lactic acid, and short chain of fatty acid are also formed in this process. This is the summary of digestion of carbohydrates, in which polysaccharides such as starch and glycogen are first broken down into disaccharides, for example maltose, isomaltose and limit dextrins, by enzymes such as salivary amylase, pancreatic amylase and intestinal amylase into simple sugar, that is the monosaccharides, for example glucose, galactose and fructose by enzyme that is oligosaccharidases.